Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Precious and I'm back again with another video. So apparently today I just feel like holding it like the mic in my hands, so bear with me. If it's irritating, comment in the comment section below and we won't do it next time. But I missed you guys. Time check. If Tananani is watching this, please forgive me. But time check, it's 02:30, almost 03. I know. I realized I missed YouTube so much that when I couldn't sleep, I was like, okay, we're gonna record a video. So here we are recording a video, wearing our earrings in the middle of the night. But that doesn't matter. What matters is I'm recording a video, right? If you're a new subscriber, my name is Precious. I'm a medical student and I create content about my life, my med school journey. And if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Anyway, so for today, we're gonna have, wait, where have I been? So, most of you are guessing I've been doing my rotations for almost a year now. So I'm kind of drawing towards the end. I actually have, I think, one rotation left. It's like the mini one, a short one. So yeah, I haven't yet done it. I'm not yet sure if I'll be able to do it because I'm like putting my application and I'm waiting for a response. But it's just that period where you're just trying to figure out a lot of things. So that's the reason I've been MIA. I missed you guys, but I'm here. I don't know if I'll be able to release content every week after this, but I will be releasing content eventually. So stay tuned to my channel. Don't unsubscribe. I'm definitely have content for you guys coming. So today we're doing a Q&A. So I posted this on my Instagram story. If you do not follow me on Instagram, I'm putting my handle right here. Kindly follow me on Instagram. So I posted on Instagram and asked people to ask me questions. Guys, 42 people saw my status and only 3 people asked, but it is well. I gave you an opportunity to ask a question. And on YouTube, I also posted and only one person responded, but that is well. It is well if you don't have questions. So I'm going to answer the 4 questions I was asked, and then I'm going to do a rant and talk about how internship has really been, because I'm practically at the end of it. So yeah, so the first question is from Linus, and she says, been a minute, how are you? Also, when do you graduate? I want to get a special treatment. Linus, I don't know if you were saying you want to give me a special treatment because I'm graduating or I should take you on a special treatment. But anyway, congratulations. I know you also recently graduated, so congratulations. How am I? That's a hard question. Some days I'm good. Some days I'm just like, let's get done with this. But yeah, I'm okay. Some days good, some days we trust the Lord to keep us through that day. Yeah. When do I graduate? Next month. Yes, next month, June. And then the next questions are from Tak. His name is also Alex, and he has a YouTube channel. Please check him out. I'll put the links in the description below. He has awesome content and amazing reaction videos. So his question is, you talk about insomnia a lot. Being a medical student, how can you manage staying healthy and still doing what you need to do successfully? Good question. Talking about insomnia, here I am at 02 recording a video. I believe it's discipline, because there are so many things that you'll be required to do, not because you feel like doing them, but because you have to do them. So with this insomnia, I believe there are many ways in which you can tackle insomnia. Prayer being one of them. I know it might sound weird to you, but yes, pray to God about it and God will give you sleep. There's a scripture says God gives sleep to his beloved. I'll put it here. So yeah, and also there are so many lifestyle changes you can do to help with insomnia. But then, so another thing that I believe would be just being disciplined when you're going about trying to be successful, because being successful means you being intentional, you being inconsistent, and you needing discipline. Those are some of the things that will cause you to be successful, I believe. If you have different answers, just put it down below, because I'm sure Alex also read in the comment section. So all those combined, and also working hard to tackle, because I feel like in med school, especially my first years, I really struggled with insomnia. But again, I think you gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, I think there's so many times where I think I remember in biochem I wrote it without sleeping because I suffered very terrible insomnia that day. But then I had to do what I had to do. So you just have to get through each day. I don't know if I've answered your question. It was a bit deep, Alex. And then the next question is, I am sure you have questioned your career choice a lot. How do you keep moving? I still question it sometimes. Anyway, anywho, what keeps me going? There's always that thought before you go to med school. There's always that dream. There's always that imagination. I think I keep going to that. There's always that thing which God pressed upon your heart that made you actually go to medicine. I think I go back to that a lot. But with medicine, there are points where it will wear you out so much that you might actually even lose track of that. So in moments like that, you just keep going. I think a support system is very important. Just people to keep reminding you your relationship with God being it being in check. That all combined, I think for me that's what has kept me going. Also remembering the people around me and knowing that this success ain't just for me, but even the people around me, like they're just counting and saying, Precious, you can do this. So that's what's kept me going, honestly speaking. Just remembering there's so many moments I have to remember the journey and just remembering how God has brought me through med school. I'm just like, there is where he's taking me. I have to keep going. So yeah. And then the last question, she asks, as a med student, how does one fight the spirit of procrastination? Ooh, it's how all the questions which I'm being asked today, I can relate. I can actually relate. So procrastination, I'm actually very good at it, sadly. I'll take you back to discipline. I think there's a point where you need to, you need to do what you have to do, no matter how you're feeling and despite how you're feeling. So with procrastination, I feel like because procrastination is something where you keep telling yourself, I'll get this done, but you never you don't get it done. Oh, so I think number one, having people you're accountable to. So a study group would help where you tell each other and say, okay, yes, we're going to study combined as a group, but even individually, we're going to tell each other and say, I'm studying now. Or just having that one person who constantly check up on you and make sure having a study partner, if not a study group, would help you tackle procrastination. Also, find out what's making you procrastinate. And there are tons and tons of videos on YouTube that talk about procrastination. So you could actually go and look at those. And sometimes just, that Nike, just do it. Yes, yeah, just do it. You just tell yourself and say, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I don't feel like it, but I'm gonna do it. And you just get the books and put them in front of you and start studying. But I think accountability helps a lot when it comes to procrastination, especially. Yeah, so that was all for the Q&A. I'm just going to go into a mini rant and talk about how my internship has been, for those of you who've been curious. I think a few days ago I was going through my videos and I realized I shared so much with you guys during this internship period. I started my internship last year, June 6th, and you guys have literally done the journey with me. I think from my first day, if you haven't watched it, should I make a playlist for you guys to be able to watch all my first videos. I think I did the first day together with you guys, core days, and looking back at it, guys, it's been a journey. I think one of the things that I can say about internship as a student, because when you talk about internship in Zambia, that's as a doctor after you already graduated, but in China that's they have it before. So internship as a student, one of the things that I've learned at my quit rotations is that it's actually been the best and the hardest experience. It's been the best experience from the sense that, guys, I've learned so much about the excuse of being a student. There's so many times where, being in the confinement of a student, you're allowed to learn things. You're allowed to be okay, yes, they'll hammer you for not knowing that, but at the end of the day, they'll be actually she's a student, and you have the opportunity to go back and read on that. And that's been the best part of this experience where, there are so many things where you're able to go back and read on them It's different from when you're a doctor, you actually have the patient in front of you. So yeah, what has been the hardest is I've learned through this year consistency. I think one of the hardest periods for me was when I was rotating in pediatrics, and I rotated in December. So most I didn't know. I took my break before for particular reasons. I think I actually did a vlog, like I went to Ndola, and there's a vlog about it if you haven't yet watched. But yeah, I took my break before, and most people actually took their break like during the Christmas period. But then for me who took it before, I was forced to keep rotating. And it happened that most people, I think the week before Christmas, everyone stopped, and I was like the only student for a number of weeks. And it was so hard going to the hospital and not having anyone else I could go to relate to or be a student with, but I had just had to go there and be, the only student. And I realized at the end of it, and I also remember Obs and Guy, those moments where I just got burnt out and tired. And through all of it, I just learned consistency. That's why I say it was the hardest, because being consistent at something actually requires, it takes a lot from you. It's not something that's easy coming. And that's why it's so easy to just wake up and say, I won't go today, and you just sleep. But then there is just that conviction that needs to be inside of you and say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go back. Even though yesterday wasn't good, even though yesterday they answered me rudely, but I'm still going to go back. So that's one of the things that has really challenged me during this 1 year. It's learning to be consistent, to just keep going at it no matter how you're feeling. And that's med school, really. You will learn consistency. Another thing that stood out for me during this internship period is how friendships played a big role for me during this period. I think an aspect of the hospital, I found out that a lot of friendships I made, or friends I made, or acquaintances, I don't know whichever you would like to call them, I think I did make friends where we actually became friends and we still talked up to today. In somewhere we just were talking in that period, in that moment of being in the same department or in the same space. But one thing I learned is, guys, short-term friendships, sometimes it would hurt. I remember I think the last group I rotated with in surgery, I bonded so much with those guys. I got attached. Leaving was really hard, and even after they left and they moved on to their next rotation and I had to remain in surgery, it took me a while to pick myself up and keep going. So that, and also just learning that a support system really, really, really means a lot during this period. I've heard people say it, and I'm realizing it, that when you're in such places like medicine, even other hard courses, your support system really matters. It really, really matters. Them just having people who you can go back to at the end of the day and say, you know what, today was a very good day. I had a very, very good day. I did this. I presented on major ward round and it was an excellent presentation. And there are also days where you need to go back and say, you know what, today was actually hard. This happened to a patient and I couldn't bear it. But friends really play a big role. That's one thing that just stood out for me. Let's remember this is a rant, but I feel like a rant. But anyway, it's a rant. I'm explaining to you guys how things went this side. And the last thing, being your last year, you've been in med school for so long, you're so used to being a student, and then being in your last year is okay, now what's next? That's a question that you find yourself asking, especially when you go towards the end of your internship, of your rotations as a student. I feel like that's a question you ask yourself. You now begin to look into the wider world. Maybe others begin earlier, maybe others begin later. But that's one thing that came to my attention. You begin to ask yourself, you begin to try to see yourself. If you want to specialize, you begin to think whether you're going to proceed, start working and all that. But it just pushes you into this place, which I have been calling a transition period, from your last rotations into your graduation, into okay, what's next after this? But anyway, that's just my short rant about how rotations have been. Overall, I do not regret coming home to do my rotations from home. It's been a good experience. I've met amazing people. I would not go back and change anything. I've met amazing doctors. I actually changed the hospital I was at when I was doing my 5th year, and the hospital I was doing at my 6th year were actually very different. It was actually me coming out of my comfort zone, and I didn't realize how much that would take out of me till it actually happened. And it wasn't easy. I will say that there were so many times where I just wanted to go back to my comfort zone of the previous hospital, because I had all my friends and everything. I was used to the premises and all that stuff. But sometimes it's just good to challenge yourself. And when I look back now, I'm like, I took the experience, it happened. I think one of my subscribers actually came to my Instagram and asked and said, I noticed that you changed hospitals. Why did you? I actually changed it because I wanted a new experience. I wanted something different for my final year. I began to regret it after I did change, but I stand here today and I say, I'm happy I actually changed. It wasn't easy. Parts of me actually still wish I rotated where I was in fifth year. But I still believe God has a purpose. I still believe that God turns everything out for my good. So even at the hospital where I rotated, I still believe there's a purpose and the reason why I rotated there. So coming to the end of my rant, I missed you guys. I enjoyed doing this video. Please forgive me holding like the mic in my hands the entire time, but I just felt comfortable doing it. And I will see you guys in my next videos. I don't know when that will be, but yeah, I love you guys. Bye.